So we've now come to the end of 2019. I've seen over 78, 79 new releases. So I thought I was going to do a top 10 most disappointed movies. But then I was like putting the list together. I only could come up with 7. The 3 I added in were kind of me just kind of nitpicking at them, like, because I do enjoy them. I had Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker in here, but then I seen it the second time, and I actually enjoy it a lot more the second time. So I had to take it out of this list, as well as some others. So these are my top 7, I guess, of the most disappointing movies of the year. So this is my own personal list. Let me know your list down below in the comments. Just one quick thing before I do get started. If you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button. I do movie reviews and rankings almost on a weekly basis. So if you like all that kind of stuff, click that subscribe button. But anyways, let's go on to number 7. And coming in at number 7, I've got Tolkien. Now Tolkien is kind of the true life story of the author who wrote Lord of the Rings, and it was kind of advertised as this shows how he came up with the idea of Lord of the Rings as meant to be a big epic story about how he came to it. But in reality, it was a love story with very small sprinkles of war throughout, and I just found it to be very boring. Like there was some elements like in the war scenes, you'd see big orcs and all stuff that would be within the Lord of the Rings books that kind of gave the idea of where he came from, all these ideas. But in reality, it was mostly just a love story. The main lead actor, I actually can't remember his name, but he also plays Beast in the X-Men franchise, the kind of newer X-Men franchise. But then you got Lily Collins, who plays his love interest, who their relationship is very believable, but it does seem very forced in other aspects. They both play the performances brilliantly. They're both like, there's nothing stand out with them. They play it really well for what they have, but it's a very forgettable movie. It's a movie that I would never really recommend, even if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. It's something that it's not really necessary to know unless you're a massive fan. Of course, you see Lord of the Rings because they did market it heavily as, oh yeah, this is Lord of the Rings. So if you're a massive fan of Lord of the Rings, of course you probably have seen this. But if not, I wouldn't really entertain the idea if you haven't seen it. And coming in at number 6, I've got X-Men Dark Phoenix. I know you're probably thinking, why did you think this movie was going to be good? It's not that I thought this movie was going to be good. I just thought it'd be better than it actually was. So I was really, really disappointed going out, especially knowing that this is the last X-Men movie that Fox is going to be putting out, and it was very, very bad. It's not, I've seen it twice now. The second time it wasn't as bad as it was the first time. I think I had a lot more hate going into it the first time because I just didn't understand why we were getting it. But after watching it the second time, there is elements I like. I thought, like, this whole storyline with Professor X and Beast, they don't seem like their own characters, but I like the whole team aspect. Jean Grey, Sophie Turner, she's a lot better in it this time than I did the first time. There's a lot of problems, like a lot of, like, there's a scene when, like, okay, it's not really a spoiler, but when Raven gets killed, you see on Jean Grey there's no blood, and then later on you see her brushing the blood away, and it's just, it makes a lot more sense. No sense like how all this happens. There's a lot of continuity errors, but there is elements I did enjoy. Like that train sequence at the end it's very enjoyable. It's something I wasn't expecting it to be as fun as it actually was. I seen this in 3D the first time. The 3D itself was pretty bad. Overall, it's not a terrible movie, but it's just looking at the X-Men franchise where it has had its hits and also has its misses, and the fact that it went out on such a bad movie, it's kind of disappointing to see that. And coming in at number 5, I've got Hellboy 2019. This movie, like, this is not the 2019 version. This is the original version. I want to go back and watch this movie because I haven't seen it since the cinema, and I just want to see if my opinion changes on it at all. But overall, looking back, I was really disappointed just because I knew the trailers weren't the best, but they had David Harbour, and because of him in Stranger Things, I am a massive fan of him. As well as the original 2 movies I enjoy so much, and interesting fact, Hellboy was the first comic book I ever read, so I do have a little bit of a small place in my heart for Hellboy. So I was hoping this movie would be good, but it just, the tone was all over the place. There was some good sequences, like the when all the Englishmen are trying to kill Hellboy because he's, I can't remember exactly, like he's some kind of, for some reason they're going after him. That seems interesting, but other than that, there wasn't much that really drove me to this. I want to buy the Blu-ray and watch it again because I want to see if it's any better. I think it's coming to Netflix. I might watch it on Netflix. But this movie, overall, even though I'm forgetting what happened in it now, that's why I want to go back, but it's a forgettable movie. It was very boring. I remember kind of dozing off a little bit, not massive amount, but I remember wanting to fall asleep and wanting to leave throughout this movie, which isn't really a good sign for a big action comic book movie, so that's why it had to come in at number 5. And coming in number 4, I've got Glass. I was so excited for Glass. Coming off Split, which was one of my favourite movies of 2017, especially because I didn't know what to expect. This is just a movie that me and my friends randomly decided to go see, and I was shocked at how good it was. And I hadn't seen Unbreakable before that, but I seen Unbreakable about 2-3 weeks leading up to this movie, so I wasn't like that involved with the David Dunn story. But leaving it, I was just so disappointed, especially how the whole action sequence at the end, which, okay, this movie's almost a year old. If you haven't seen it now, why haven't you seen it? Because spoilers are ahead. But how David Dunn dies, getting drowned in a puddle, I absolutely thought was ridiculous. How Mr. Glass died, I thought was good. It was like he died from the Beast punching him so hard that his bones broke. That one made sense. The Beast getting shot, I found that to be disappointing. So the Beast, the way he died after seeing how amazing and how enjoyable he was in Split, and as well seeing how David Dunn died in the puddle, I thought that was really disappointing. The sequence in the actual insane asylum, I enjoyed that. That's something that I wasn't expecting. I seen the trailers that it was going to be in it, but I didn't expect it to be as big and as important as it actually was. So I enjoyed that element to it. But other than that, the end action sequence, like literally, I think by the last 20 minutes was the most disappointing part about this movie. And if they had a different ending, I think this wouldn't be here. If this movie had a different ending, this could be in my top 10 of the year. And coming in at number 3, I've got the Lego Movie 2, the second part. I've been struggling for about a year now. Not even, it's almost a year. But why I don't like this movie, because I can't really put my finger on it, but for some reason it just doesn't feel as good as the first. I don't like the way the whole story, especially in sequels, the story's meant to be a lot bigger, but this story itself feels a lot smaller. I don't like what they did with all our kind of core cast in the first movie. They kind of sideline them and get rid of them a lot. The whole Emmett, the way there's two Emmets, I don't like that either. The whole Lego sequences, they're really good. The songs aren't as memorable as the first. I think that's one of the main things about this movie. It's not as memorable. I seen it once in cinema, and I left to go to the toilet for about 5 minutes, and I feel like I didn't miss anything. And then I bought the Blu-ray and watched it to see if I did miss anything, and I didn't really. So the whole story, it's not a massive, it's not a flop, it's not a bad movie. I just, going into it, I was really disappointed, especially coming off the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie, which are really good animated movies. Going into this movie, I thought was just a massive letdown. I haven't seen Lego Ninjago, so I don't know, this could be a lot better if I see that one. But this one here, I felt very much let down after this movie. And coming in at number 2, I've got The Lion King. The Lion King 2019 was a massive disappointment. It was on my top 10 most anticipated list of 2019, and it just left me so underwhelmed. Nothing was changed. It's the exact same movie as the original, except for a few little sprinkles throughout that are new. Like the whole luau scene, I thought was absolutely hilarious because I didn't expect that, which is Timon and Pumbaa. Timon and Pumbaa in this movie saved this movie a lot for me, because a lot of the rest of it is very disappointing. Simba, like the scene when Mufasa dies, if you go side by side between the live action version and the animated version, you see in the anime version you see all the emotions going through his face at once, but this one you just see a line with his mouth slightly open and he's screaming. So this, all the emotion was just drained from this movie, which I don't understand, because there was emotion in the Jungle Book. I could feel the emotion coming off the characters, but I just couldn't feel anything off this movie. So I left very underwhelmed, especially going off. We got what, 5 Disney live action remakes this year. We got like this, Dumbo, which I didn't like Dumbo. We got Aladdin, which I was a massive fan of Aladdin, and Maleficent and Lady and Tramp. Lady and Tramp was better than The Lion King, which if I was going into 2019 and you said, hey, you would enjoy Lion King more than or you would enjoy Lady and Tramp more than Lion King, I really wouldn't have believed you, because The Lion King is The Lion King. It's one of the best animated movies of all time, and they really dropped the ball when it came to the live action remake, in my opinion. And my biggest disappointment of 2019 is Men in Black International. I was so let down by this movie, because I thought the trailers were enjoyable. I actually was really excited for this movie as well. You've got Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth, who literally taken them from Thor Ragnarok. I was like, oh, this is going to be brilliant. Their chemistry in that movie was phenomenal. But it's like they didn't have much chemistry in this movie as well. The jokes didn't really land. You got Liam Neeson, who he was a massive player, but he just didn't feel like, he didn't bring Liam Neeson. And you got Emma Thompson, who was just very forgettable in this movie. She's in the first scene and then the last scene, that was it. And I was just so underwhelmed with that. The action sequences as well, it didn't feel like Men in Black. Like if you look at the original trilogy, which aren't the best, like the first one's good, the second one's not the best, third one I actually do enjoy. But the whole action scene, you see them with their space guns. But this movie, you see Chris Hemsworth using an actual gun in a Men in Black movie. I don't know how they decided that would be a good idea. So there's a lot of elements of this movie I found to be really disappointing. I've seen it twice. The Steelbook I've seen is really cheap, so I'm very tempted to buy it and rewatch it again, see if my opinion changes on it. But again, I'm like, do I really want to? Because I just didn't enjoy this movie the first 2 times. The first time I thought it was okay, second time I thought it was even worse. So I don't know if I want to go back, because I was so disappointed with this movie. So that's my ranking on my top 7 most disappointing movies of 2019. Click that subscribe button so you can see other movie reviews and rankings just like this one. Let me know what your ranking is down below, because this is a very controversial list. I think a lot of people would have different ones, and some people would have the exact same ones. I want to know what everyone else's disappointing movies of 2019 were. And as always, thanks for watching.